Amen.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Tonight, we're excited to be back with you guys. We're sipping with Shakita and Terry on tonight. We wanted to simply come back to let you guys know we're doing part two of domestic violence, and we're hoping that you guys would catch something that you can learn from this. Even if you're experiencing it or someone else that you know may be experiencing it, maybe you can help them out by giving them these different nuggets that we're about to put out for you. So tonight we want you to log in with us either on Facebook, YouTube, or Anchor, whichever one that you would like to, be a part of or whatever. Like, share, and subscribe to those things so that you can help get these different topics out that we're doing. So we're excited. We thank you for tuning in with us on tonight. So we'll go ahead and get started, okay? So tonight I just basically want to kind of go with the flow of telling you about some of the most common effects for the mental effects of domestic violence, because there are so many different things that takes place with your mental, your psyche,
Right.
when you go through domestic violence. There's different types of domestic violence: verbal, physically, mental abuse, all kind of abuse that you can go through that causes these mental effects that would cause lasting effects for you and your loved ones that's involved in this type of situation. So we just want to simply break these things down for you tonight, and I'll go ahead and start off first, and then we will turn it over to Terry. So some of the common mental effects of domestic violence consist of post-traumatic stress syndrome. That is PTSD. A lot of people look at PTSD as only associated with military.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can have PTSD at any time during your life. It doesn't matter whether you're military, police, or whatever. Anytime you have experienced anything traumatic,
Right.
you can have PTSD. So don't ever let someone tell you you can't have PTSD. Yes, you can. Or don't think that you may not have PTSD. Yes, you can. You just might have it, because if you keep having flashbacks, PTSD, nightmares, PTSD, severe anxiety, PTSD, or uncontrollable thoughts, that is definitely PTSD. So don't think that you cannot have PTSD. You can. So you want to look at all of these things that I just named to you and examine yourself, especially if you have been one who have suffered with domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that you're weighing these options out. Just saying, okay, I see that I'm struggling in this area, this area, this area, this area. And it might not even be all of the areas, but at least there are some of the areas that you can relate to. Okay? So another thing that's called mental effects of domestic violence is depression. And it also includes prolonged sadness. Depression, like the commercial says, depression hurts. So you have to remember that depression would take you on a downward spiral. And it gets you to the point where you just don't want to do anything that you love doing. Normally, you don't want to do those things. You just feel sad and down and out and just want to be alone, in the dark or whatever the case may be. So you just, like we like to say, you just check out. You just check out. So you don't want to check out. You want to get help for depression. There's help for depression. There's help for PTSD. So that's why we like to suggest counseling for, people who have gone through these different series of events in their lives, because these things affects you mentally. I like how, in the Bible it talks about how God wants us to be a whole person. Mm-hmm. And we're not a whole person if we're experiencing these things, because we're carrying this baggage, this luggage that's on our shoulders. We need to release this luggage. Get this luggage off of us. So it causes depression. Another thing it causes is anxiety. Anxiety, that's something big too. I've known people to be so stressed out till they just get so overwhelmed where they start losing their breath. They just start having like heart palpitations and just all kind of stuff. They start sweating or having sweaty hands or whatever. They just start losing it. They just get so, clammed up and tight, where they thinking they might have a heart attack or whatever. Anxiety, very stressed, so you don't want to get to the point where you are suffering from anxiety, or you're suffering from depression, or you're suffering from PTSD. Get some help. There's help out there for you. Another thing that associates itself with the mental side of anxiety, domestic violence, is low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Low self-esteem, because when people continually to tell you you're not beautiful, nobody else wants you but me, and you make me do it, and cause you to question why you feel the way you feel, because of what they are inflicting on you, that causes self-esteem. Low self-esteem, it tears you down.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you second guess who you are. And you don't want to have to second guess who you are, because you know who you are. You know that you're that strong woman, that strong man, or strong boy or girl, or whatever it is. You just got to overcome it. You got to rebuild up your faith in yourself. You got to rebuild up your confidence and knowing that you're good. Everything's fine. I'm going to be better. I'm not, I don't, tell yourself, I don't suffer with low self-esteem. Even though that might be your issue right now, just start telling yourself, I'm not going to suffer with low self-esteem. I'm beautiful. I'm strong. I'm more than a conqueror through Jesus Christ. Begin to encourage yourself. Begin to say things that will make you feel good and confident about yourself. Dress up, look nice, smell good, move forward, because those things will help you. Get help, like we're going to keep saying throughout this podcast. Get help if you need help. There's no shame in receiving help. What we've learned is pride. Pride causes people not to get receive the help that they need. So lay aside that pride and get help. Admit that you're suffering with the issue. And we understand when you're going through domestic violence, especially physical domestic violence, you're ashamed because you sometimes might have a black eye, your nose bruised, your face bruised or whatever, and you don't want people to see you like that, and especially if you know that people know that you're suffering through this, that makes you feel real low. Makes you feel like you just, I'm just, oh my God, not good enough, or I'm not, like them or like that, or whatever the case may be. It makes you have that low self-esteem because now you're thinking people looking at you, talking about you, and and stuff, or whatever the case may be. So it makes you feel some kind of way. So don't worry about that part. But one of the biggest things that has an attraction to the mental side of domestic violence, this causes suicidal thoughts. Sometimes people even commit suicide because of the tragedy that they've gone through domestic violence.
That's right.
Because they don't want to seek help. They're too ashamed to receive the help that they need. So they decide to just end it all. Nobody don't love me. Nobody don't want me. I'm not good enough anyway. My children will do better without me. Whatever. So the devil's putting all of these things in your head. Because you're already alone by yourself dealing with this, instead of getting the help that you need. So the devil's taunting you. He's telling you to just check out. They don't want you anyway. You don't, he already said this about you, and he already said that about you. So, you might as well go and do what you need to do. Or she might have said this about you, or she might have said that about you. So just go ahead and leave, check out. They don't need you. They don't want you anyway. Don't believe the enemy. Don't believe the lies of the enemy. Don't let him fool you that your life is not worth living for. You have a lot to live for. Get out of the domestic violence situation, because trust me, you will be so much happier and so much free if you get out of that situation. And then with that being said, you can help somebody else come out of their situation that they're going through. Trust me, there are so many people who's experiencing these kinds of things that's going on within their household that you don't know. You never know what's going on behind people closed doors.
Absolutely.
You never know. I don't care how good they seem and how perfect their marriages are, or relationships, or whatever it is. There's something there. You never know. But people know how to work through things and know how to put up a facade. So the thing for you to do is just pray for God to help you in your situation and to help you to come out of it, especially if you are dealing with domestic violence. So get out of it. So another thing I want to talk quickly about before I turn it over to Terry is the common emotional and spiritual effects of domestic violence. Now, hopelessness, people begin to feel hopeless. I'm just done. I just want to give it all up. I'm, just checking out. Feeling unworthy. Don't feel like you deserve anything good. That's a lie. You deserve that and some. Apprehensive and discouraged about the future. Some people are so afraid to move forward in their future because they have been listening to all of that negative stuff that's saying towards them, or that abuse that has been taken offensively towards them, done towards them physically, makes them feel like I just can't do anything anyway. So you begin to just get discouraged about your future. Lack of confidence. You don't want the devil to get you to that point where you have lack of confidence, where you just feel like you're not worthy enough to move forward in your future and be successful. Each and every one of you deserve to be happy. Each and every one of you deserve to have a great future. So you deserve that. So work towards having that great future. And then another thing that happens is inability to trust. See, when you've gone through domestic violence, or physically, mentally, or spiritually, or whatever it is, you have an inability to trust. You really can't trust. You're trying to figure out, who can I really trust? Who can I really turn to? Who can I really give my whole heart to? Or you're trying to figure out, who can I trust? And trust these days is a loose term, because trust is not like it used to be. There used to be a time where they say your word is your bond. That's trust. I can trust you. If your word is your bond and I can believe that you're going to follow through on your word, then I trust you. So we have to get back to that, to learning how to trust. And when when people begin to trust us, we got to follow through on that, so that they won't be let down, so that they know that their confidence can lie in you. Ultimately, let your trust ultimately lie in Jesus Christ, of course. But he also give us people that we can also trust, so that we can move forward and live comfortably and be happy. So another thing is...
Preacher coming out. You preaching a lot.
Okay. Well, hey, what's in you gonna come out, right? So questioning and doubting spiritual faith. So you begin to waver in your faith. You begin to say, I'm saved. I want to live for the Lord. I want to do this, this, and this, but why is this happening to me? So you begin to waver, trying to figure out, why did God let this happen to me? Why this, why that? We got to remember that God give us choices. He give us choices, and we got to make right choices. If he want us to live a whole abundant life, he want us to be happy. He want us to, move forward, so you got to choose right. And when you end up in a situation where you've seen that you have chosen wrong, you can make that correction. Sometimes it's hard to make that correction, but eventually you can. You can make that correction. So move forward. Just say, you know what? I'm moving. I'm done. It's over. So let it go. Oftentimes you become unmotivated. You lose that zeal that you once had, that fire in you. You lost it. Now you're like just whatever. You just going along with the ride. I've known some women to have gone through domestic violence. They have been there for so long, to the point to where they just, whatever happens. I can't control it. I can't do whatever. So I'm just here, and I know it's going to happen. So they do things like drugs, alcohol, or whatever, to check themselves out, because they know that it's going to happen again, and they're not going to leave. So they just enduring it.
Wow.
So now they're unmotivated to do anything about it. But before I turn it over to Terry, I want to encourage each and every one of you. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your children, because they're the most important things here, because children have lasting effects from these different things. It affects their relationships when they get older and they get married. So when they get married, a lot of times they're carrying this baggage with them into their marriage, because they never dealt with it. They never even knew or remembered they have issues until they get married and have to deal with somebody of the same sex that they experienced it from growing up, or saw that loved one that they had, inflicted on them. So do it for your children. Move on for your children's sake. You'll be much happier that you did, because that's a selfless act. That means that I love my children enough to move on from this, because I love my mate or whomever, but I love my children more, and I want them to have a wholesome life. Mm-hmm. I want them to be happy, and I want them to grow up to be good men and women. Because when they get married, I want them to know how to treat their spouse. So you want to be that example, especially for the girls to know, hey, if my mama can leave, I can leave. Right. If my daddy can leave, I can leave. So you want to teach them a healthy relationship, what a healthy and wholesome relationship or marriage look like. Lead by an example. Don't hurt or harm one another. Don't say things that you'll regret saying. Be peaceful, live in harmony, and learn how to pray with one another. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Terry.
All right. Very good nuggets and very deep. When she said, if you don't lead for yourself, lead for your children. That's very deep. But I have, for a brief part tonight, I have 11 questions that I would like to ask the audience. Like I said, you just between you and God, if you're not sitting next to nobody or whatever, but 11 questions that said you might be in a domestic violent relationship, or you might be entering a domestic violent relationship. So either you in one or you might be entering one. If you answer yes to any of these 11 questions I'm about to ask. Mm-hmm. If you answer yes to all of them, you definitely, even half of them, you definitely into something that you shouldn't be in.
That's right.
Or somebody might need some type of counseling or intervention or something. You need something because you're going to get there to that stage you don't want to get there. Right. So the 11 questions are, your significant other. When I say they, I'm going to be talking about the significant other. Your spouse, your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever the abuser or the other person is. Mm-hmm. Do they threaten to hurt you or other people you love? That's one of the things that abusers do. Mm-hmm. They threaten to hurt you, or, all right, I'm going to get your little brother, or I know where your parents stay, or I know where your sister stay, or I'm going to jump on her, I'm going to shoot them, or whatever. They're either threatening you or someone that you love.
Yes, being a bully.
Being a bully, that's an abuser. That's a question.
Controlling. Do
they do that? Answer yes or no. Mm-hmm. Like I said, there's no need to lie to me. We just throwing these out from our research. Mm-hmm. So the answer yes or no. Second question is, do they hit, kick, punch, push, choke, or use physical violence against you? Those are not things you should be doing. Push, choking, kicking, hitting. You should be, I believe in love taps. That's when you walk past your mate and you do, but that's another story. That's the only kind of hitting you should be doing. Besides hugging and kissing and caressing and holding hands. Not the hitting, the kicking, the punching, the choking. My God, choking. Or using other forms of physical force. Do they do that? That's a question. Yes or no? No need to lie to us. Like we said, we just throwing them out there. Do they criticize or blame you for everything? I mean, they take no responsibility on their own for them losing their job or getting fired or not getting their GED or whatever happened. They blame you. So they come home, they had a bad day, something happened, and you there, so you actually become the punching bag because you cooking dinner and the rice didn't turn out perfect. So they some stupid excuse and they sock you inside of your head because they're mad at something else, but they take it out on you. But you weren't even there. You had no decision making in the process, but you were the scapegoat. Do they do that? Yes or no? Do they humiliate you in front of others? When you get to a party or gather or family reunion, just, hey, look at that stupid girl over there, my stupid wife or my crazy girlfriend, psycho. Do they humiliate you in front of everybody? Have everybody looking at you, whispering or giggling or whatever, and you just feel like you just crawl on a rock. It's a purpose behind that. They want to humiliate you so they can bring down your self-esteem. That's what abusers do. They humiliate you so they can bring down your self-esteem. Because your self-esteem stay low, it increases the chance of keeping you.
Yeah, control.
But your self-esteem start rising, it increases the chance of losing you. So they do all that to decrease your self-esteem. Do they humiliate you in front of others? This is the good one. Do they control your access to money?
That's right.
Do you have any debit cards or credit cards in your possession? You may have some in your credit report, but do you have it? Can you go get out $100 out your bank account and buy a new dress or buy new Jordans? Can you do that? They just control all the money, they keep all the money. You got no cards. You going to give a few dollars, $20, whatever they give you a week for an allowance or whatever happens, because they want to keep you broke,
right,
and keep you financially unstable. Even though you guys, might have a lot of money in the bank, but you don't have access to it. So where you going?
Right.
You
have to depend on them.
That decreases your chance of not being able to get away. That cuts off your escape route.
Right.
You don't have any money to go anywhere. You don't have enough money to put you and the kids on a Greyhound bus, because I'm only giving you $20 a week. So what you gonna do with that?
Right.
So that control access to money. That's a way of an abuser. Control all the decision-making process in the relationship. I didn't say most or half. I said control all of it. Do you have any say-so about anything? About what kind of furniture you want in the house? What kind of house you got? What kind of car you got? What y'all want to eat? Where y'all going on vacation? Anything. You have no control over anything. They make all the decisions. That's definitely a red flag. That means that they make all the decisions, even what you wear. They pick the clothes that you wear. You don't even pick that. So they make all the decisions in the relationship. That's not healthy. Should discuss it.
That's right.
Do they control your time and action? I didn't say their time. I said control your time and action. What you doing at 8 o'clock? Call back at 8:30, 8:50. What you doing? Where you been? I've been to the grocery store. How long you been in there? Did you talk to anybody? Who you talk to? Bill. Who is Bill? Oh, Bill's the mailman guy. Well, why you talking to Bill? Control your time and action. You can't go anywhere without them knowing. If you go to the mailbox, stay outside too long, they want to know why. Controlling your time and action. That's why they can keep up with you, because they're so afraid that you're going to escape. That's why they got to control your time and action, because they're afraid of the great escape. They're afraid that one day they're going to come home and you're going to be gone. You and the kids going to be gone. Just going to be an empty house or whatever. You take your clothes or whatever, it's going to be gone. So they got to control. Sometimes they put trackers on you. I read sometimes they put trackers on your watch, on your phone, on your car, so they can keep up with you. Anybody with confidence that their spouse not going to leave them don't have to do all that.
Right.
I want to put a tracker on my wife, or her watch, or her phone, or her car, because I'm thinking she's going to leave. If I'm thinking that, I might need to change, because I'm not doing something right if I think she's going to leave every chance she get. So we might need to change something, so I don't have to feel like that. So they control your time and action. Do they destroy your property or even abuse your pets? They destroy your property. They'll kick your car in, bust your windows, throw a brick at the TV. Anything that destroys your property makes you spend more money to put you back in the hole.
Right.
Not to let you come up, is to bring you back down. They will destroy stuff that you got to fix. If you don't get them locked up, well, you still get them locked up. You still got to pay for it. If you don't have insurance to pay for it, hopefully you do. But anything that destroy your property that belongs to you, especially something that means a lot to you. That's why I said abuse the pets. I read down there. That's messed up.
Right.
They know you love little Spot, the little poodle, and they just kick Spot across like he don't know football at the Atlanta Falcons game. Because they know you love that little dog, and they just kick him or kill him.
Right.
Anything that you love or dear to, they will take it, destroy it, or kill it. That's the sign of an abuser. Do they do that?
Very sad.
Still talking about yes or no questions. Would they threaten to hurt you or commit suicide if you leave them? That's definitely something to think about.
Yes, very much.
They always threaten to hurt you. Then you say you can leave. I can't take it if you leave me. I kill myself. That's definitely a sign. Mitch ever talking about he would kill himself if you leave him. That's definitely a sign that he don't mind leaving here.
Right. So you need to move, get out the way, because if he leave, he or she saying all of that, they just might kill you too, right before they kill themselves. So be very careful of that.
That's
so you
right.
might need to take a good exit plan.
So if he don't mind leaving here, he don't mind taking you out of here neither.
That's right. And
So
maybe the children too. Some of them take the children out
I
too.
had rare stories of people killing their whole family and killing themselves. So
right.
Once you hear that one time, it don't take two or three. Now they're gonna kill themselves. You leave. You definitely need to get your exit plan. The last one is: do they force or coerce you to have sex when you don't want to? Forced sex. That's something to think about. They just force it on you.
Right.
It's a power thing. It's not that they really want to have sex that bad. They just got to do it because you don't want to. And because you don't want to and they want to, they're going to make you do it. It's the subservient attitude that they want you to have. They want you to be a servant, a slave. You do what I say. I don't care what you feel.
So is that rape? That's rape.
Yeah, it is, but the law says there's some places say you can rape. If you're married, there's some places don't recognize it as rape, but in my book it's still rape. Some places, I can argue that in criminal justice classes. In my book it is. If a person don't want to, you force them to do it, that's rape. But some places obviously don't recognize it, but I don't care about those some places, but that's wrong and that's abuse. That's rape and that's just wrong. So if that ever happened to you, you definitely find yourself in an abusive relationship. So these are the questions. Now these are a few nuggets that I'm gonna run through before we close. They'll let you know that these are some other little nuggets that you can find out if anything kicks in, just write it down, whatever, that you might be in an abusive relationship. The person pushes for a quick involvement. Soon they meet you, we got to go together. What do you mean? We just met last Friday. Yeah, you my girlfriend this week. I never met anybody like you in my life. You're the one for me. They need you to be there as quickly.
Wow.
It's no 6 months, year. They want you to be there. They're pushing you for a quick relationship because they said they never met anybody like you or nobody never made them feel the way that kind of stuff. Be aware of that push for that quick
Run for
relationship.
Your life. Run.
Number 2, jealousy. We already talked about that last time. They're real jealous of everything. Sometimes they don't want you to talk to somebody that you've been talking to for your whole life. Your best friend could be somebody from 3rd grade. They're jealous of them. They want you to stop talking to them. They push people out your life. Sometimes they don't want you to stop talking to some of your family members. That's crazy. Some of your family members they want you to not talk to because they're taking away time from them.
Right.
They're real jealous on it. Controlling behavior. We talked about that earlier. They got to control everything. If they're not controlling where you at, where you going, what you're going to do, what you're wearing, what you're eating, what your hair look like, they don't feel right. They got to control all of that because they got something going on with them that you can't help.
Right.
Unrealistic expectation of you. They want you to be perfect. I see the time. They want you to be perfect. They have an unrealistic expectation that you better dot every I and cross every T on every single thing. And as soon as you miss one dot, they want to try to dot you.
Right.
They're flawed. They know they're flawed. Got plenty of flaws. But you got to be perfect. And as soon as you show one image of imperfection, they want to attack you.
Right.
So that's an unrealistic expectation of you to be perfect. Hypersensitivity. They get sensitive so easily and say their feelings hurt so easy because you called John to ask him about the car instead of asking him first. So he's sensitive about that, something stupid, and they get angry and want to fight. But it's really not them being sensitive, it's just them being angry. They're covering it up with sensitivity, you hurt my feelings mess, but they're really angry and want to fight.
Right.
That's just a cover up. But they're so sensitive to everything. Cruelty to animals or children.
Sad.
And they'll kick a dog, and they'll hit your kids. You definitely got to get out of there. More so the children than animals. I love animals too, but
That's
if
right.
they're going to abuse your kids, because not too long after they start abusing you, they're going to want some new flesh. And no children will be there, and they might turn on them too. So get your children out of there. No verbal abuse.
That's a big one too.
Cursing you out.
That's hidden.
Calling you names, making you feel bad, just cussing you out. Just abuse, just telling your self-esteem. Sudden mood swings. You're gonna come home with flowers, and then 5-10 minutes later he choking you. Like, what in the world just happened? It happens. It sounds crazy, but it happens. Sudden mood swings. Y'all on a trip somewhere, y'all laughing and talking the whole trip. As soon as you park the car, he just turn to take the key out and punch you in the face. We heard of stuff like that. We actually heard of stuff like that.
Yes, definitely.
How are you just laughing and talking, and you just park the car, take the key out the ignition, and just swing on me? Sudden mood swings. Beware of that.
Yep.
And past battering. That's a big one. Don't get rid of clothing. Past battering. That joker admit to you, yeah, my last girlfriend Sheila, I used to fight her a little bit. Fight her a little bit? What you mean fight her a little?
Right.
We used to get into it. That's a sign.
Right, run.
Run for your life and don't look back. He already admitted that he beat women in the past.
Yes, and gonna get you.
Or she admitted she stabbed men in the past. Yeah, I stabbed my boyfriend Bo, but he may run. If they admit to these past things, I'm not saying anybody can change, but who are you to say that and find out?
Unless it was in defense.
Unless it was in defense. But he admit that I changed, or most likely I changed, and I don't fight no more, but be aware of that. I never like to give people chances, but beware of that past battering. And the last one is, the rigid roles. They expect you to serve and obey. They want Florence some good times to walk in the house. They want you to come to the door with a duster and bring them a cocktail or a drink or some wine or grape juice or Coca-Cola, whatever you drink. Put their feet up on the table, have the 8-course dinner ready, bath ready. They want you to call you, what's the word I'm looking for, Lord. Like they did back in the biblical days, some women call it Lord, Lord. Want you to call them Lord or Master. That sounds crazy, but some people actually want that. They want the rigid road. They want you they expect you to serve and obey them.
Right.
That's more like a kingship. Like it's court. That's not like a relationship to me. I want my wife to feel like she got to serve like, what are you, a hired servant or a wife? I want a wife, I can hire a servant. I want somebody to come in and clean the stove or the microwave or the floorboards. I can hire somebody for that. But I want a wife or a partner who you can enjoy life with and have a good time with. So they expect you to have these subservient roles and obey them and call them master. And or Lord, or whatever they want you to call them for. So just beware of those things right there that might be hints. Well, they are hints that you're in a domestic violent relationship.
Thank you so much, baby. We hope that you guys have received a lot of these nuggets from what we've just shared tonight, because these are very serious and these things are continuously going on day in and day out. So get the help that you need. Get some strength and try to move on and move forward with your life and be happy. Take your children so that they can be happy and safe as well, because if they're not feeling safe and they're not feeling like their parents safe, we don't want your children to grow up where they feel like they need to protect you. And sometimes that happens, especially with boys. They finally get tired and they go kill that husband, and now you regret that you didn't leave when you could have left, because now your son, or sometimes it could be a daughter too, have went and did something to that spouse, and you don't want that. Don't provoke. The Bible says provoke your children not to wrath. So you don't want to provoke them to wrath, because they love their parents. They want to protect them by any means necessary. So love your children. Think about your children first if you're not thinking about yourselves. Again, thank you for tuning in tonight. Like, subscribe, and share this podcast. And we thank you for joining us tonight.